Hello, good morning to you. How are you all doing? Hope you guys are reading. As the lessons are, I hope you guys are reading. You're not compiling them to read all at once. I hope you're reading from the first and you're coming up, making the notes lighter for you. So during the last class, we continued with punctuations. The punctuations we started 2 classes ago and we ended it during the last lesson. So today we'll be looking at prefixes. Prefixes denoting opposite. So let's first of all have a review of the last class. Which were the punctuation markers we talked on during the previous lesson? Which punctuation markers did we talk on during the previous lesson? Well, for those who have been reading, if you can remember, we talked on the capital letters and the apostrophe. And we brought in instances during which these punctuations should be used. And I also told you when not to use them and how to use them. So today we will be looking at prefixes denoting opposite. What are prefixes denoting opposites? What is a prefix? A prefix is a group of letters added in front of a word to give it a new meaning. So a prefix is a group of letters added to the beginning of a word to make it a new word. So the prefix comes, there's a word that exists on its own. And then a prefix now are a number of letters which are added in front of that word that already has a meaning to give it a new meaning. So then what are prefixes denoting opposites? A prefix denoting opposite is the letter added in front of a word which we enable the word to have a completely opposite meaning from what the original word signifies. So the prefixes denoting opposite will be letters that when added in front of a word gives the word its opposite meaning. Let's look at the examples. Look at the example of the word dislike. Originally the word is like, but with the addition of the prefix dis in front of the original word likes, it gives it the word dislike, which is a negative meaning, which is the opposite of the word to like. You either use hate or dislike. So since in this lesson we are talking about prefixes denoting opposite, we will not use hate to be the opposite of the verb to like, rather dislike, which is a synonym to the word hate, to the verb to hate. So dislike here is the opposite of the verb to like. So this, as you can see in the illustration, this plus like equals dislike, and dislike here is the prefix. So we also see a word like unhappy. Un plus happy equals to unhappy. So you see in the illustration, happy is a word on its own, and then we bring the prefix un in front of the word happy, giving it another word called unhappy. Unhappy now is the opposite of the word to be happy. So another opposite of the word to be happy could be sad. But since we are talking about prefixes denoting opposite, we are talking now about opposites that are formed using prefixes. So we use un. Un plus happy equals to unhappy. As you can see in the illustration, the un is the prefix. We also see other words that form their opposites using prefixes of opposite. So as we said, prefixes of opposite are used to form opposites or antonyms of words. So I see examples like the word fold. The addition of the prefix on in front of it gives it the word unfold. Unfold now is the opposite of the word to fold. Fold means to wrap. Like you can fold meat in a plastic bag. You can fold your clothes in a plastic paper. So to unfold means to open up, to unwrap, to untie. So you see the word fold with the addition of the prefix on in front of it gives it unfold, which is an opposite meaning. Just like dislike, like and dislike as in the previous example we already saw. And then mortar and immortal. So the IM plus the original word mortar gives it the opposite immortal. Immortal means someone who does not die, like God. God is we always sing the song immortal God, invisible God. So immortal, invisible means you live forever. Invincible means you cannot be conquered. So the the word mortal itself means you can die. You cannot live forever. As we always say, mortal man. Man is mortal, God is immortal. And then we have incredible. We have credible plus the prefix in, giving it incredible. When they say something is incredible, it means the thing is believable, it can be believed. So when you say something is credible, it means it is possible to be believed. But when you say it's incredible, it means it's unbelievable. So incredible is a synonym to the word unbelievable. And as I earlier said, since we are talking about, our focus is on the prefixes forming antonyms or opposites of word, we'll focus on what the opposites that are formed using the prefixes denoting opposites. So instead of saying unbelievable, we'll say incredible. So we also see the picture below. So we look at the chart below. We see different words needing to be filled with prefixes. Though some words have already been completed, together with me we will complete the other words lacking. So we see unhappy, which have already been done for us, impatient, which have already been done for us, and dishonest, which have already been done for us. And down here we have prefixes like on, this, im, and in. And the words needing these prefixes are agree, fair, correct, tidy, appear, usual, and possible. So let's try fitting in the word. So for the word correct, we have incorrect. For the word usual, we have unusual. For the word fair, we have unfair. So the prefix on goes to the verb fair, which is unfair. The word tidy, we have untidy. For the word possible, we have impossible. For the verb agree, we have disagree. And for the verb appear, we have disappear. So then, this is how these prefixes are attached to word and be careful to know which prefix suits which word. So you don't go putting the wrong prefix in the wrong word. Because if you come to a word like happy and put this happy, it will be marked wrong because it is wrong. So with words like happy, we put unhappy, patient, impatient, honest, dishonest, agree, disagree, fair is unfair, correct is incorrect, tidy is untidy, appear is disappear, usual is unusual, possible is impossible, and appear is disappear. So know when and where to use which prefix. Study the table below and learn more about prefixes denoting opposites. So look at the table below and learn more about prefixes denoting opposite. We have the prefix on, in, him, non, this, e, and il. So here we have different words which carries each of these prefixes. So for the prefix on, in the first column we have unhappy, unlikely, unavailable, unacceptable, uncomfortable, unnecessary, unwrap, undo, unfriendly, unbelievable. And for the prefix in, we have inappropriate, incorrect, inability, incurable, inactive, inedible, indecisive. And for the prefix in, we have impossible, immature, immortal, immovable, impossible, impatient, and imperfect. And for the prefix non, we have non-living as a non-living organism, non-porous, non-scientific, non-rigid, and non-attendance. And for the prefix dis, we have disapprove, disagree, disability, disadvantage, disappear, disbelief, discolor, discontinue, disobey, and dislike. And for the prefix arrow, we have irregular, irrelevant, and irresponsible. And for the prefix il, which is ill, we have illogical, illegal, and illiterate. So far we have been looking at these prefixes. And what did we say about prefixes? We said prefixes are letters or a group of letters which when added in front of a word gives the word a new meaning. A prefix when added in front of the word gives the word a new meaning. It could be an opposite meaning or a similar meaning. And since we're focusing on prefixes denoting opposites, we said prefixes denoting opposites are letters which when added in front of a word gives it its opposite meaning. So when you put a word, if you put a group of letters in front of an original word, it gives it an opposite meaning, as in the examples of the word we saw: dislike, unhappy, incorrect, as the table below shows. So read the table carefully and study these words and the prefixes appropriate for each word. See you in the next class. Ciao.